This is 7 News, the voice of the Riverina.
Tonight, a Coolman man stuck at the town's only level crossing while trying to get his mum to hospital.
A nationwide Optus outage leaves customers without mobile and internet services.
I'm Daniel Gibson. Later on this news hour, dozens of Sydney businesses smashed as shop owners were left helpless. And back on his feet, Glenn Maxwell's double-century heroics.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. A Coolman resident is calling for a new train crossing after coming dangerously close to losing his mum while rushing her to hospital.
The level crossing cuts the town in two, and if there's a freight train coming through, it can be a long wait to reach the hospital.
It's a scenario no one wants to go through.
Her whole face was swollen, tongue swollen. Got her in the car and we're about 5 kilometres out of town. Got to the front gate, which is about 100 metres down the road, and she'd stopped breathing. Fell slump in my lap.
While rushing his mum to hospital last Tuesday after a freak allergic reaction, Coolman local Liam Armstrong was stopped by an oncoming train, blocking access to the hospital.
We only have one train crossing, and I was lucky enough to catch the end of the train. But if it would have been the start of the train, talking to the doctors and that, with her not breathing, she would have passed away.
The crossing effectively splits the town in two, making it harder to access emergency services. It's an issue that's been on council's radar for more than a decade.
Our emergency services are split. We have our fire and rescue and rural fire service assets on the northern side of town, our hospital and ambulance and doctor on the southern.
In March, a truck and a train collided in Mara, the train derailing. The mayor says he can understand the hesitancy behind creating new rail crossings.
The government and Transport have a policy of reducing the number of rail crossings in rural areas for understandable reasons.
With harvesting season underway, trains passing here are often slower, causing more delays, some wait times upward of 15 minutes. Mr Armstrong says the only other crossings are too far out of town to even consider.
From this train crossing out to that and back to the hospital is about 11.5 kilometres, and six of them kilometres is on dirt road.
Coolman will now continue its plea. Transport for New South Wales says it will work with council to investigate the concerns. Marla Summer, 7 News.
An Optus outage has caused havoc across the country today, including here in the Riverina. 10 million people and 400,000 businesses are said to be affected. Jacinta Coonahan joins us now. Jacinta, how long was the network actually down for?
Well, it all started at around 4 a.m. this morning. It then took Optus around 8.5 hours to get it all back up and running. During that time, people's phones were on SOS, meaning no one could actually make calls or access the internet. The effects were varied, and so far there is no exact sign of what went wrong. But all we do know, Nick, is that it did affect a lot of people here in Wagga and make them quite frustrated. It's a crisis that's taken the country by surprise and has had far-reaching effects.
Can't keep in touch with the grandchildren at school. I tried all my contacts who were probably trying to get in touch with me because of my medical history.
With the internet down and phones not working, people were stuck.
24/7 on call, so it makes it really hard.
Because I use my phone for everything. My pay, my phone calls. I can't even make a phone call to my work because of it.
Small businesses were also left on hold, including the new Oliver Brown Cafe, which was celebrating its debut.
We were meant to open 8 and then everything is down, like the internet. So once the internet is down, the POS is down, and then the docket doesn't come as well because it's all linked in.
The first reports that something was wrong was around 4 a.m. Multiple government agencies across the country that rely on the network went quiet.
This is a deep fault.
Wagga Base and Calvary Hospital were able to stay online, but Optus had to release a statement saying emergency 000 calls were not working from Optus landlines. By the time communication started being restored, it was clear there was some frustration across the country.
I do reiterate the TIO's statement that it's important, especially for small businesses, to keep receipts so that any recourse and any redress that may be available to them has that evidentiary base.
And it's from, right from Cairns to Melbourne to Perth to across here to the East Coast. So it's unprecedented in terms of network outages that I'm aware of.
Optus is yet to reveal the exact cause of the blackout, but has suggested it was most likely a software upgrade failure. Jacinta Coonahan, 7 News.
A trial against the Catholic Diocese of Wagga has resumed. The victim survivor of alleged sexual abuse in the 1970s by former priest Vincent Kiss is filing for compensation. The jury today heard details about economic losses and emotional trauma. The trial continues tomorrow.
The highest interest rates in more than a decade are forcing many people to give up the great Australian dream of owning their own home. There are now reports of a growing number of people foreclosing on their mortgages.
The crisis of rising interest rates is having a devastating effect on Wagga families.
I know for Wagga, the bank is already making moves. Banks are making moves to foreclose on a number of mortgages.
With the Reserve Bank raising rates for the 13th time yesterday, mortgage holders are now being forced to fork out more cash each month, and many simply can't afford it.
Banks don't take these steps lightly. It's a very bad look for a bank to foreclose on a family home, but there must be considerable evidence of stress and inability to cope with the mortgage and the cost of living.
Vinnie's offers support to those who need it, either financially or just to put food on the table. Being forced to give up the family home is sadly a situation the charity says it sees often.
We see that a lot, regardless of what the situation is.
Vinnie says the need for help is prominent across the board.
It's a real struggle for everyone, regardless of whether they're young mums, old mums or dads. It's a very difficult situation for them to go through.
But one group where demand is high is among single mums.
If it's a mum that's got family, it makes it very, very difficult. So with those people, we just try and give them their food for a while, keep them up to scratch with the kids.
There are ways people can get help with their mortgage payments if needed. Banks are urging anyone who is struggling to get in touch.
Tell them what your circumstances are and really get to know who your bank is, and they'll definitely try and find a solution that'll fit you.
Jacinta Coonahan, 7 News.
Health authorities have issued a thunderstorm asthma alert. They're warning high pollen counts and predicted thunderstorms are set to increase the risk of a potentially deadly attack.
In a season when allergies come out to play, health authorities have warned thunderstorm asthma is upon us, triggered by a combination of current high pollen counts and predicted thunderstorms.
When those two parameters meet, the grass pollens can actually explode and break into very fine particles, which can then be inhaled deep into the lungs and trigger asthma events.
October to December is considered a high-risk period for thunderstorm asthma, affecting a wide range of people.
It does affect asthma sufferers, but also other people that may have other allergies, such as hay fever or sinus problems. They can also be affected at the same time.
You're always worried. It's a bit, for me, unpredictable. So sometimes I don't suffer too severely, and then there's times where I suffer quite severely from it.
Symptoms can include chest tightness, difficulty breathing and a cough.
If you recognise you may suffer from thunderstorm asthma this season, there are a few ways to manage symptoms and get in early, which includes staying indoors and closing any windows during a storm.
Ensure that you actually have updated your management plan with your GP. Ensure that if you are taking preventer medications, that you're taking them daily and appropriately, and also to carry your reliever with you at all times.
Thunderstorm activity can either be monitored on the Bureau of Meteorology website or
CSU send a thunderstorm warning alert onto my phone to make sure that I'm prepared for asthma and with the thunderstorms coming and that sort of thing.
Those who notice symptoms worsening are urged to phone 000 or visit their nearest emergency department. Rochelle Panikovich, 7 News.
Well, Kirsty is here now for a look at how today's weather shaped up. And Kirsty, a little bit of everything today, would you say?
Yes, that's right, Nick and Maddie, absolutely. A very mixed day across the Riverina. We had hot temperatures reaching the high 20s, quite muggy as well with that high humidity this morning, and warm, gusty north to northeasterly winds. Minimums were very warm as well, into the high teens for many. That's thanks to cloud cover trapping in some heat overnight. We also had areas of showers early this morning as well as storms in the south near the Victorian border this afternoon. We've seen less than 1 millimetre so far across Wagga, as well as around Temora and West Wyalong, but we're expecting quite heavy rainfall into tomorrow. I'll have a look at those details a little later on, guys.
The gardens will be loving it. Thanks, Kirsty. See you later.
Up next in 7 News, fields of yellow, and it's all about to be harvested.
And some possum support at a Wagga gym.
And a little later on this news hour, questions grow over how the war will end as Israel forces make their way into the heart of Gaza City. Plus, a driver faces court charged over the crash that killed 2 teens in Sydney. And back on his feet, Glenn Maxwell's double century heroics.
Welcome back. The canola harvest is now upon us, but with changes to the global economy hitting hard, profit margins might not be as high as hoped.
These canola plants yet to be windrowed are now heavy with seed pods, but the weight isn't being felt in farmers' pockets.
Well, at the beginning of the year, the canola was up around about the $800 a tonne. At the moment, I checked on it yesterday, it's about $560 to $600, so it's down quite considerably.
With a large amount of Australian canola exported to the EU and China, the global economic climate has a large impact on pricing, though local canola tour operator Alan Vorius still thinks it'll be a successful season.
It's a very good, profitable crop, even at that prices.
Canola farmers are also facing unfavourable weather conditions. The area saw up to 30 mils of rainfall last weekend, with showers also rolling through today.
Rain is welcome news in the Cowra region. However, it is slowing down the canola harvest. Only 20% has been harvested so far, with farmers hoping to finish in the next few weeks.
The wet weather is especially untimely for the crops that have just been windrowed. The plants will need to be completely dry before seeds can be threshed from the pod.
Once it's windrowed, it takes usually about 7 to 8 days if it's nice and fine. But if it has a bit of a shower rain on it like this, you've just got to wait until probably another 4 or 5 days.
But with the demand for canola oil projected to rise over the coming years, farmers may have an incentive to keep farming the picturesque crop. Charlotte Wallen, 7 News.
Support dogs are playing increasingly important roles. Now, Bella the clever cavoodle has become a welcome gym buddy for members at Wagga's Planet Fitness.
High five for a job well done. Bella has spent a big morning offering possum support inside Planet Fitness.
So I bring her in maybe once a week and the members just like pat her and she says hello to everyone. So she's just a bit of a therapy dog for us and just, I don't know, makes things a bit fun, brightens people's days.
Animal therapy is one of the biggest things. She comes down, members love her. She's been here since she was a puppy.
A gym can be a daunting and intimidating space, but Bella is helping locals feel more at ease. Her presence is one of the many reasons Shelley visits 5 days a week. It's tiring work for a 5-month-old pup, but laying down on the job isn't just accepted, it's encouraged.
Hopefully it can open doors to this kind of thing more in the future, not just in gyms. I find it helps people. So why not?
In and out of the gym, staff are striving to support members of the community. On Saturday, Planet Fitness will host a fundraising barbecue.
Sausage sizzle, we have giveaways, we have spin the wheel. Come on down, it starts at 9 o'clock.
To support Wagga locals Mel Carr and Riley Logan.
Both are suffering from leukaemia. Mel's a mother of 4. And Riley's a 9-year-old boy who loves his sport.
Richard Slobin has experienced the generosity firsthand. He raised more than $2,000 for the Pancare Foundation through a Step to Stop Stomach Cancer walkathon. His partner lost her battle to the disease almost 4 years ago.
As soon as you ask them, they're the first person in to say I can use the gym at any time. Even now, any event I want to do, they'll support me in every way.
Steph Muir, 7 News.
Well, up next in 7 News, West Wyalong looks to end its Rugby League drought.
And a historic cup win within reach for a Wagga soccer hero.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, why ponytail facelifts are all the rage. Strange name, but the results are eye-catching.
And Milk Wars, it's utterly crazy. Look at all the different types. We break down what is best for every age group.
See you in the morning.
Welcome back. Wagga's own para-athlete Carly Salmon is playing a leading role in advancing cerebral palsy in soccer. The Para-Matildas are 3 from 3 at the Asia Oceania Championships and well on their way to a landmark triumph.
Matildas of the IFCPF game are in a huddle.
A groundbreaking squad on the cusp of creating history at home.
Australia left! And Georgia Bykov has done it again!
The Para-Matildas, captained by Wagga's Carly Salmon, are Australia's first national team for women and girls with cerebral palsy, acquired brain injury and symptoms of stroke. They're just 2 wins away from securing Asia Oceania Championships glory on home soil.
Salmon's there, in the box! Oh, Carly Salmon scored!
Honestly, every morning I wake up, I'm still pinching myself because it's just been an absolute dream.
In 30-degree heat, the Paratilly showed enormous heart to come from behind against Japan.
Chested down and in by Nicole Christodoulou.
The hard-fought 4-2 victory extended Australia's unbeaten run out to 3 in Melbourne. Salmon was bursting with pride as she described how the team fired up and dug deep against their fierce rival.
They were so hungry to win. It was absolutely amazing. I think it is what we needed for our game to just keep improving, because you could see the girls really, really stepped up.
It's not just the competitive games putting the Paratillies to the test, with the hot weather creating extra challenges. The Bureau of Meteorology is predicting a top of 29 degrees for Friday's women's final, kicking off at 7 p.m.
Part of having cerebral palsy is our bodies often struggle to regulate heat. You know, we have had a few challenges with that.
Steph Muir, 7 News.
A talented young softballer is helping to put the sport on the world stage. Alex Maiden is striving to help Australia qualify for the group stage of the Under-18 Women's Softball World Cup. Australia opened its campaign with a 12-5 win against the hosts before falling to New Zealand by a single run. The Kiwis were too good in the rematch, but the Aussies bounced back from the 2-run loss to defeat America Samoa 14-0. Alex has scored 2 runs so far. Today's games were abandoned though because of some wet weather. The top 2 teams are advancing to the group stage. To Rugby League now, and the man known as Mr Reliable at West Wyalong will lead the Mallee men into the upcoming Group 20 season. Braden Jones will replace outgoing captain coach Tim Dorr in the club's top job next year. The star took out the club's best and fairest award for a 2nd year in a row and also finished 2nd in the league's vote count. West Wyalong has knocked out of the premiership hunt in the first week of the final series. A super run in Sydney has added to the buzz surrounding next week's famed feature in Gundagai. Super helpful is proof the Snake Gully Cup attracts some of the best gallopers in country New South Wales.
A super run from a Canberra gelding, helping to prove the time-honoured Snake Gully Cup holds up when compared to country features around the state.
And Tractable won the big dance, a link to Cepheus. Super helpful 3rd.
The Barbara Joseph and Paul and Matt Jones trained Super Helpful earned his spot in yesterday's $3 million big dance with an impressive win in last year's $100,000 Cup in Gundagai.
Beat Metro Missile, another one.
In a little over a week, another Stellarfield will take aim at the hallowed feature for a shot at both the big dance and a place in a lucrative new race in Canberra. Winning connections will lift one of country racing's most unique prizes.
Our trophies have character involved in them, you know, and we largely lean on locals to make the trophy. You're not going to see a shiny trophy being handed over for the Snake Gully Cup.
Local artist Joe Morton has been handed the reins this year, and Crow is adamant visitors will be impressed.
They're a feature of what the Snake Gully Cup is.
The Gundagai Adelong Turf Club has a special guest jetting in from Europe to assist with fashions on the field next week. Irish milliner Maria Stark will help Naomi McMullen crown the 4 category winners.
We're looking for head-to-toe styling. It's essential that we have matching coordinates, including the millinery, handbags, accessories and shoes.
Visitors and locals alike can swing into the fun at the Snake Gully Cup Ambrose in the lead-up to the 2-day carnival. Steph Muir, 7 News.
Up next in 7 News, Kirsty is back and she's got an in-depth look at what's happening weather-wise. That's next.
Welcome back, everyone. Rain-bearing troughs and a low-pressure system over New South Wales are triggering showers and thunderstorms, some of which could become severe. We are also expecting warm winds and humid conditions thanks to a high-pressure system drawing warmth but also creating instability over the state. The wet weather does look to ease throughout our weekend, though, but we'll also see temperatures skyrocket and our fire danger rating increase. Now, the Riverina could see some decent rainfall overnight and tomorrow. Over the coming week, we're expecting totals of around 20 to 25 millimetres for our region. To our Thursday weather forecast, and as we've been hearing, tomorrow will deliver that highest chance of showers. As little as 3 millimetres, but as much as 20 millimetres could fall. Storms around 2 under cloudy skies, and if those storms become severe, we could see heightened levels of rainfall once again. Temperatures very warm into the high 20s, in the 30s as well for parts of the western Riverina. Despite forecast rainfall, we are expecting a high fire danger tomorrow for the northern Riverina. We will see the wet weather easing for the end of the working week on Friday as heat builds towards the weekend. Narrandera 35 degrees, an incredibly hot spring day. A sunny morning too, but storms arriving likely into the afternoon and evening as we feel those winds shift in a southeasterly direction. Grenfell 31 degrees and Harden a top of 31. On Saturday though, that's when we could see maximums hit the 40s for the first time this season. An incredibly hot day, maximums more than 10 degrees above our average, even Wagga to reach 37, and combined with gusty northeasterly winds, our fire danger remaining high for the southern and northern Riverina. A little bit of reprieve from the heat coming through Sunday, but my goodness, 37 degrees on the way for Saturday. We are absolutely going to swelter through the weekend.
41 in Griffith. Wow, it is going to be hot. Yeah. All right, thanks, Kirsty. See you later.
And that is all we have time for tonight. Thanks for watching. You can always catch up on our website, or of course at 7+.
Right now, though, Dan has your national news. Have a lovely night. We'll see you again tomorrow from 6 o'clock.